was officially made, and Brian O'Connor was introduced as the head baseball coach at Mississippi State. He joins us right now. Coach, thanks for coming by.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's great to be here. Great to be here in Starkville.
As a starting point, what did you think you knew about Mississippi State compared to what you know now a couple of years? Obviously, hadn't had a regular season game yet, but being in Starkville, being around the facility, being around your team a little bit. I know they're kind of making their way back in. What do you know now that maybe you didn't know just a few months ago?
Just how the love and the passion that Mississippi State fans have for this baseball program. You can just feel it in this town. You know, anybody you talk to, you know, it just shines through, and that is awesome. Right, that's something that any coach, any player would want to be a part of. That's, you know, when you compete at the highest level of whatever it is you do, that's what you want. You want love and passion for what you do. And the young men that wear our uniform, the returning players have all shared that with me. I've asked them the same question, like, what sticks out to you about Mississippi State in your time here? And it's the fans and how much they love this baseball program. Listen, I knew it. Right, I was fortunate enough to coach here in Starkville in 2000 and 2001 in the regional in 2000 Mississippi State. I was coaching at Notre Dame, and they walked us off in the regional final, and then came back here in 2001 to open up the season. So I knew about the fan base. I knew the love that people have for Mississippi State baseball.
Coach, last time I talked to you was right before the Major League Baseball draft, and you said, you know, I'll have a much better feel for what my roster is going to look like once that's over. Now that it's come and gone, what do you think about the group you're going to start fall camp with pretty soon? Well,
I'm excited. Certainly we returned some veteran players in the lineup, right? And they've proven what they're capable of doing in this uniform, in this league. We added some really nice additions in the transfer portal, got a few freshmen to campus that we're really excited about that we kind of escaped through the draft with. But I'll tell you, you don't know until you get out there with them every day and see the talent and skill. When you evaluate in the transfer portal, you know, you're looking online at statistics, you're evaluating video and things like that. You don't know for sure until you get around them every day. But I like the parts that we have, and now next Wednesday is our first workout as a team that we start to get together, and we'll start throughout the fall seeing what we have and putting the pieces together. But certainly excited about this group coming into this fall.
I have to ask you about one of those freshmen, because there was a lot of talk about Jack Bauer, one of the highest rated freshmen to ever make it to campus in any college baseball program, a left-hander who throws into the triple digits. And there's going to be a lot of hype around a young man like that. You know, how do you manage that and get him to understand what his role is going to be on your team?
Yeah, well, we'll figure out that role as we get into the fall and the preseason. You know, I've known Jack for a number of years. He committed to us when I was the coach of Virginia at a young age, and certainly know his family very well, know what they're about, right, and how the young man has been raised. And so once this happened and I took the job here at State, Jack immediately wanted to be a Bulldog, and that was exciting. And he was really, really committed to the college experience, right, before he goes into professional baseball. He's got a great arm. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot he's got to learn, and he knows that. So, you know, just getting him into our system and getting him to learn about what this is about and what he needs to do to grow. And, you know, there's a young man that's 18 right now. As he stacks on the innings and grows year to year, you know, he has a chance to be something special for sure.
In the most complimentary way possible, everything that Virginia baseball kind of is today is a tribute to you. It's gone from a program that was just there to the success that you've had, including a national championship. How is what you're doing here different than what you were doing at Virginia, in a place where it is an established program, a program that's got a rich history, has a national championship in fairly recent memory? How is it different?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot of similarities, right? But certainly, you know, I spent a lot of time building a fan base, recruiting people to come to the games, excitement in the community, and things like that.
They're coming here.
We don't have to worry about that here. No, they will show up, that's for sure. And so they'll show up for a midweek game at 6 p.m., you know, and so there's no doubt about that. So, you know, Listen, the college baseball is different these days. It's changed a lot over the last 4 or 5 years. We all know that, with the transfer portal and NIL and everything like that. So, when we put this team together this summer, certainly win right away, win immediately was the priority, and what are the pieces that we needed to do that, right? And so, listen, I talked about the love and the passion that people have for Mississippi State baseball. It's great. And so there's not as many outside ancillary things that you need to do as the leader of the program. It's more focus on player development, focus on recruiting. Those have to be paramount to be successful in this league and to be successful here in Starkville.
How much has the transfer portal changed the way you do those things? Do you have to be, I hate to ask this way, do you have to be softer, knowing that they could just up and leave your school if they don't like how things are going? Do you have to coach differently now?
That's a great question. The answer is no. Okay? It's clear no, because, listen, any great player, they want to be coached, and I talked to them about that in the recruiting process, that we are going to coach them. Well, what does that mean? That means challenge you on the details and hold you to the certain standards that we have, that we believe elite-level baseball players have, right? I mean, if you sit and talk to me about wanting to play in the major leagues someday, right, well, that's an everyday foot on the accelerator grind and to be challenged by your coaches and your teammates. Okay, and that's what it takes. And I believe the great players, they want to be coached hard. They want to be challenged, right? And they want to be held accountable. So that has to be the staple for what we do. And listen, in today's day and age, if young men don't want to be held to that kind of standard, then they're going to have a tough time at the next place too, right?
When you think about recruiting, you're at Virginia all those years, so you recruit that area of the country. I know you've done well in New Jersey and in the Northeast. Now that you're in Mississippi, do you change your focus to, like, all right, I got to recruit Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, or do you still plan to use those strongholds that you've had in the past?
No, there's no doubt you have to adapt, right? We need to recruit the Southeast, right? I mean, we will recruit the best players in Mississippi that are the right fit for us here in Starkville, and we'll branch out from there. And then we won't be opposed to grab a player from Illinois, California. I just actually was out in California this weekend for 3 days evaluating some players. So you got to go wherever it takes. We've kind of seen that in the SEC really over the last 5 years in baseball. We've seen really great players leave California and come to the SEC, right? So, listen, it's about winning. It's about being successful, developing players. No matter where you need to go get those players, you got to get them from.
I wanted to ask you about a couple of players on last year's roster that I'm not sure if they're still on the roster or not, because they didn't do the whole, hey, I'm coming back, run it back tweet that some of them did. Noah Sullivan, Garrick Fryer, are they still part of the roster? Are you planning to have them for next year?
100%, yeah. Both of them were very interested in opportunities in professional baseball, which they should have been. Right, they're older veteran players. That did not materialize for them, and I certainly talked to them through that entire process, and ultimately that didn't come to fruition for them, and so they will be back, absolutely, our first workout next Wednesday in a Mississippi State uniform.
Next Wednesday starts camp?
Well, it's our first workout. We're actually not starting full fall baseball until about September 19th. So we'll
until
have
Till the fall.
Yeah. So we'll
call that fall camp.
There we go.
Okay.
But we'll have workouts with them and individual workouts and things like that.
Brian O'Connor's the head baseball coach at Mississippi State. Got a big crowd hanging out behind him as we broadcast with our not fall camp tour, getting set for the start of the football season and really the start of the new school year. Staff continuity. You brought much of your staff with you, including Coach Mack. You and I were talking before we started, who's been with you for 22 years. And then you had Justin Parker, who was here in Starkville as the pitching coach. How important was it to you, for you, to keep the staff together?
Well, I thought it was very important, as much as I could, when I decided that I was going to take this job at State. I turned to a number of our staff members and told them about it, and every one of them that I asked to join me, they said they were 100% in. So that's exciting. And the benefit of that is we know each other's processes, right? They know how what I like to see done. I know how they work and how they operate. You know, our recruiting coordinator, Matt Kirby, who's been with me for 14 years, came along as well as some other administrative guys that, and then, you know, being able to retain Justin Parker, I think was a pretty big plus for us moving forward.
We really appreciate your time. Look forward to visiting with you more in the future, and can't wait for the spring. We're going to enjoy the fall, but then we can't wait for the spring.
Thank you. I can't wait either.
Brian O'Connor, head baseball coach here at Mississippi State, moving toward his first season. We've got